Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Arevik, the founder of Channel Group. Today I'm going to talk about 3 essentials to building smooth and successful cooperation with your Chinese business partner. How do you manage relationship with your new or already established Chinese business partner? How do you hold your Chinese business partner accountable to all the terms and conditions that you agreed on? What are the key factors in order for you to get more favorable cooperation terms with your Chinese business partner? If these questions are relevant to you, then watch this video till the end. Let's jump in. Based on my 10 years of work experience in supply chain industry in China, I can emphasize the 3 key factors in order to build smooth and successful cooperation between Western buyers and Chinese suppliers. These 3 key factors are relationship, documentation, and control, or as I call them, RDC. This 3-circle framework overlap and make a strong base for your supplier relationship management strategy. Also, please do hear me out. I'm not saying that these 3 are the only things that matter in order to build smooth and successful cooperation with your Chinese business partner. But based on my experience, I would say that these 3 are fundamental in order to build smooth, long-lasting, and mutually beneficial relationship with your Chinese business partner. So the first one, relationship. Without good relationship, nor documentation, nor your control of suppliers' work execution matters. You need to set the right tone to your communication from the very beginning. And building relationship with your Chinese business partner consists and depends on many different aspects and elements. First of all, you need to understand the Chinese business etiquette. What is considered right and what is considered wrong when you working with the Chinese people on a business level. Second is understanding the Chinese people's mentality in general. Next is the way you present your company. When was your company registered? How long have you been operating in this particular industry? How big is your company? And the next essential in building relationship with your Chinese business partner is, do you know when, where, and how to ask for particular business requests? I know this one is a little bit tricky to understand. Let me break it down for you with a real life client's case, after which you would understand what I mean by timing. So I have a client who came up to me about 6 months ago for assistance in managing his Chinese business. And he had one particular case in which he asked me to help him with. So he said that he currently has a Chinese supplier that he has been cooperating with for 4 years, and in order for him to stand out and be competent in his market, he operates in Canada market. In this particular product segment, he would need his Chinese supplier to agree for exclusivity agreement. So the problem was, even though they have been cooperating with this Chinese supplier for 4 years now, they won't agree to sign exclusivity agreement with him. So he was like, Arevik, I really need to solve this problem. I need to sign this exclusivity agreement with this particular Chinese supplier in order to be competitive in my market. So I started to ask him questions to understand why this Chinese supplier won't agree to sign exclusivity agreement with him, even though they have been cooperating for 4 years. First of all, I asked him about his monthly purchase volume. He said this much. And I asked, is it the highest in Canada market in this particular segment? He said that no. As a matter of fact, he knows that his competitors make 2 to 3 times of his monthly purchase volume. So I continued to ask him questions, because monthly purchase volume is not the only thing that can get you exclusivity agreement on the table. Next, I asked him, has he actually asked his Chinese supplier for exclusivity agreement? And he said that yes, but the Chinese supplier said if his yearly purchase volume won't be around $1 million, they won't agree for that. Next, I asked him whether or not he ever delayed payments, and he said that no. As a matter of fact, he always paid on time, and actually the delivery from the supplier side was always on time, so the cooperation has been nothing but smooth. Next thing I asked him is whether or not he actually met with the supplier's representatives in real life. As a matter of fact, have you met with the general manager? Have you met with the sales team representatives? Have you met with the big boss, or Dalaoban as we say in Chinese? Because these things are also matter in order to build this strong bond and relationship with your Chinese supplier. And he said that yes, as a matter of fact, he met with the managing director, with the sales team representatives, and with the big boss during the exhibition show in 2019 in Shanghai. In fact, he and his colleagues visited the Chinese supplier's factory, where they had a friendly, nice dinner, over which they actually drank the famous baijiu, and they established very strong bonding connection with the Chinese supplier. So now the picture starts to be more clear for me, and from my experience, I would say that this particular case had a good shot at getting the exclusivity agreement that they so desired. So I had the one last question to ask in order to get this puzzle together. And my last question was, when did you ask for the exclusivity agreement? And it was the right question to ask, because the client said that they asked for the exclusivity agreement back in 2019 when they visited their factory over the meal. They asked for the exclusivity agreement. However, the one very key point is that that time was one of the first time that they ever cooperated. And in 2019, it was one of the first big orders that they placed with this Chinese supplier. So of course, as you see, it's all about timing. That particular time was a bad time to ask for exclusivity agreement. Never forget that the way you are worried about your first transaction with your new Chinese supplier, you collect information, you do the factory audit, you do the background check, you place a first trial small order, you are in general worried of how the transaction will go, so you try to test waters first. The same things go on the Chinese supplier side. They are worried whether or not you are a trustworthy buyer. Are you going to keep your promises throughout the cooperation? Are you going to pay on time? They are worried whether or not you're going to bring them stable business. Are you going to place stable and high volume orders each month? These are the things that they are worried about as well. But hey, I have a good news. I have been cooperating with this buyer for 6 months now, and actually last month we held a meeting with the Chinese supplier, and we actually got this so much desired exclusivity agreement signed. The buyer is happy, the supplier is happy, and I am also very happy because the win of my client is my win. Now let's continue to our second essential, which is documentation. Documentation by themselves won't be enough. Yes, I'm going to repeat that again. Documentation by themselves won't be enough. You need to build a strong relationship with your Chinese supplier, and also you need to control the execution of agreed upon terms from the supplier's side. You need to really make sure that the Chinese supplier understands and gets all of the important points for you and keeps them in mind during the preparation of your order. So if you think that simply having a right contract will protect your intellectual property, protect you in force majeure situations, protect your product quality during the production, then I might disappoint you, because it's simply not the case. For instance, I have seen clients who have put so much effort, time, and money into drafting a 300 long page contract, sign it with their Chinese supplier, and feel relieved. They think that this contract will protect them in all of the aspects. They think that the Chinese supplier carefully read all of the parts and points of the contract and will keep them in mind during the manufacturing. It's disappointing though, because it's simply not the case. In most cases, Chinese supplier will quickly scan through the contract and check very important clauses and points for them. Therefore, you need to make sure to specify and really outline very important parts and points for you. I suggest you to do that via email or through the conference call. Hold a conference call via Zoom, Skype, or any other online platforms that you use right now, and make sure that during this conference call, their general manager, their technician, and their sales team representative that you are communicating with attends. And make sure that during this conference call, you specify and point out all of the important parts of the contract for you. Also, while we are talking about documentation, I will give you one more additional tip, which is when you're drafting a contract, make sure that your contract is drafted both in Chinese and in your country's official language. So in two languages, Chinese Simplified, which is Mandarin, right? 普通话. And the second language should be your country's official language, the country that you're importing the goods to. So for example, if you're from France, then your contract must be in Chinese and in French. I hope that is clear. I also suggest you to check my previous video where I'm talking more in details about what makes the documents legally enforceable in China. And in that video, I'm also talking about the 5 documents that you should sign with your Chinese supplier before starting your cooperation. Now let's move on to our third key point, which is control. First of all, you need operative and very experienced purchase department representative who would keep constant communication with your suppliers, and preferably in Chinese language. Of course, if you are still growing your business and hiring such personnel is out of your budget, then you would need to take care of this task by yourself. Find perfect balance on how often to check with your Chinese supplier. Make sure that they have all of the information and tools in order to prepare your order according to your requirements and on time. Second is consider partnering up with the company in China who can provide you long-term representative service. Having someone on the ground in China on the standby, ready to go and visit your Chinese supplier at any time that you tell them to, can really speed up your order preparation process, resolve any arising issues during the production very quickly, and overall improve your relationship with your Chinese supplier and also be your right hand in China. If this option is also out of your budget, then at least consider ordering services of the quality inspection provider in China. Currently, there are several good and reliable quality inspection companies in China who can help you to conduct quality control inspections throughout your whole manufacturing process. They can help you with the supplier background check, factory audit, initial supplier assessment test. They can also help you with the pre-production quality control inspection, during production quality control inspection, pre-shipment quality control inspection, container loading supervision, and many other services on your demand. Me and my team do provide these services, so feel free to contact us and get your free consultation. But no matter with whom you cooperate, with me or with another third-party quality control company, if you cannot conduct all of the quality control inspections throughout the whole manufacturing process, you really need to make sure to conduct at least one, which is very important, which is pre-shipment quality control inspection. Usually you would cooperate with your Chinese supplier on a 30-70 basis cooperation terms. So 30% is a prepayment and the 70% is before the goods leave the supplier's warehouse. So you really need to make sure to conduct the pre-shipment quality control inspection to really make sure what you are exporting before transferring the rest of the payment. I'm saying that this is important because you really need to understand, once your goods are out of your supplier's warehouse, there is no way back. Well, that's it for today's video. Thank you for sticking with me till the end. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. Click that thumbs up button, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!